Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Chang.
I'm Shining Love Smile.
What you want to talk about today?
Let's talk about judgment.
Are you judgy?
Oh, hella judgy.
I'm super judgy.
Super judgy. Either way, like people's from like shallow things as just hair, makeup, looks to whatever you do, whatever you say, whatever you believe is like there's like a negative side of me just constantly judging, and I feel more comfortable because maybe anxiety driven. I don't know. But it makes me feel more comfortable to know the ugly side of a person I just meet. Like I have to know, okay, because I know nobody is perfect. And I don't trust people who always say the right thing, do the right thing. That's giving like a, serial killer vibe.
No, they say the celebrities who are always likable on TV are usually the ones that are assholes in real life.
Yeah, they touch children.
Well, I think it's natural to, I feel it's ingrained in me, kind of learned from my mom, and Asian culture is just naturally very critical. Mm-hmm. So I've had to learn to silence that voice. The thought might come in, but I don't share it out loud unless someone asks, like, what do you think of these jeans? And most of my friends know, and this is why we're friends, like, I'm going to be honest, because if you want validation, or then just say, I need validation right now, can you just tell me I look fucking good? Fine. But if you ask me, because people know I'm literal, like, what do you think of these jeans? I will give my feedback.
Yeah, it makes your ass look long and flat down.
You got a pancake ass.
Yeah, my bestie is like that too. I value that because you don't want to.
It makes you trust someone.
Yeah.
It's like we had like a mutual friend who had a kid, and I mean, maybe I'll understand if I'm ever there with my hormones and stuff. And after you have a newborn, you look beat because you're not sleeping, right? And I could tell she looks tired, and our other friend is very kind, and she's just like, oh, you look so good, you look good. I'm like, I hear it as like you're lying to her. Can we just acknowledge, like, you don't have to say you look like shit, but like everyone knows when you have a baby, you're not sleeping, right? And so I would never unsolicited say you look like shit, But if someone's like, do I look tired? I'll say, yeah, you look tired. And I've learned to hold my tongue unless someone asks. I'm not gonna just blurt out my opinion unless I know that they want it. That is something I have learned. And I think learning when to say something and when to shut the fuck up is such an art because everyone's different.
Yeah, especially you think it will help them, but yeah, your intention's good, but it never received well, and you don't know, like, it was just fucking like they just want to hear lies, but not really. Like two things can exist at the same time. They can hear and then feel bad or something about that, like emotional about that, is a little sensitive, but doesn't mean they like to just hear lies.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yeah. What are some things you're especially judgy about?
Women that are in really bad, toxic relationships. I have to manage my judgment, because just because I'm lucky doesn't mean like all people, men and women, have that lucky opportunity to meet the right person, and then maybe they're in their own journey.
Everyone's
own journey, and yeah, I have to hold within that. And there's a point where I can't manage that anymore. I would not stop talking. I would not.
It?
Yeah. No.
What would you say to them?
I had to give advice, and that's like I have to manage that, because when I hear my girlfriend or even guy friend who is talking about some certain things, or not just relation, maybe work or whatever, just, kind of complaining about stuff. And my first reaction is, okay, but you can do 1, 2, 3, and then look at this. Kind of like a solution oriented.
Not everyone wants a solution. I've had to learn that as well.
Yeah, and I had to, hold that back. And that's Jimmy. He agrees. I judge. The way I got over that is, because maybe we're like all good at different things. Like I'm not very good at business and developing that type of sense. And then those women who maybe have relationship issues but very good at business. And the way I look at it is, okay, if I judge them for the maybe not the worst part of it, it's like the things that they need to work on. If I judge their weakness, the weakest thing, well, if they judge me for, okay, why aren't you successful, run multiple businesses like me, then it was gonna make me feel bad. So this is like cliche shit to say, like it's you'll have to don't treat people what's the word?
Treat others as you
the
would
way
like
how
to
you
be
want to be treated.
treated.
So I look at it like that, and that helps me. It's like, okay, everybody has a different strength and weakness. Just because I do this area better and then I judge other people of that makes me a fucking hypocrite. And I have to know that no matter how justified I feel, and it's just clear to me, why the fuck you're with him? It makes me feel, but I have to kind of really work on that, and then look at the things that she is better at. And maybe instead of looking at this thing, I learn from the strength that this person has.
Yes.
And then like kind of be there. And if, she whatever, she get hurt from the relationship, and no matter how like fucking like just urges me, like I want to tell her, I kind of just hold back in.
It's very difficult to see a friend or someone you care about make a decision where from the outside it's so clear. And just, I imagine that's what parenting's like too, because you have to let your little kid fuck up. Have you ever dated a toxic man before?
Oh, yeah.
For longer than maybe you should have?
Oh, yeah.
So usually people who have that experience and you've learned from it, or you've done the personal growth, they say that you can be less compassionate sometimes because you've pulled yourself out of it. So like, oh, it's clear.
Like, why can't you do that? Yeah, just leave.
Yeah, and it's really hard to watch someone you care about do something like that. I've also had to learn to accept that people are on their own timeline as well. Like,
Jamie agrees. That's great. Put that in there.
You can just stay here. Yeah, I had a friend, and I was being super judgmental about it. Chose to date this guy that she had known. He was in kind of our circle, and she is historically known. He's cheated on every single female he's been with.
Yeah.
Okay. And then some women, when we don't know better, we think we're the exception. I'm going to be different. I'm going to change him. I'm going to heal him.
Like the savior thing.
I'm like, oh my gosh. And the writing was on the wall for me. I'm just like, you know this already. And I'm like, do you want to know more? I can give you more specific details. And she said, no, I don't want it. And it was so hard for me to hold my tongue. And I said, okay, well, if you want to know more, because I was closer to some of his exes, like, let me know. And it was so, I couldn't sleep because I cared about her so much. I'm like, what the fuck? And within a few months, of course, like shit started to pop up like, oh, he just referred to me as his friend when he introduced me. I'm like, okay, is that a shocker, you know? And finally they stopped dating, and then she's like,
it's so hard to not say, I told you, bitch.
I know, because I love being right. And I'm like, yeah, we've all been there. But I'm like, okay, good. At least it didn't last that long. And she's married now. She's happy. But, God, it was so hard to watch. And I was judgmental because I was like, damn, dude, like, I can see us doing that shit in our 20s. Like, what the fuck? Being, basically not giving her any grace. Mm-hmm. Very, very judgy. Like, we're in our mid-30s now. She should know better. But you know what? Maybe she needed to go through that in order to see the next person she was going to date. So, yeah, it's all learning. And my friends have been very graceful with me watching me date in my 20s, like choosing horribly. Yeah. And I'm sure I remember there was sometimes I can tell they wanted to say something and they're just like, okay.
Yeah. So like a perspective change definitely helps me manage my judgment. And also now we're, older. we have to be, I guess, more mature about communicating, and also like compassionate about different person, not just our female friends, like all the friends that had gone through some different things, and it's easy to judge. And also the thing is, it always comes back to like I guess selfish reason. When I not stopped, because judgment is still always there. When I learned how to manage judgment, I love myself more.
It's true, because it's almost like, what do you see in this person? Is there a part of you that maybe has that as well?
Exactly. That's what people saying. Like they're the people who hate Trump, because there's a little Trump in them. Yeah, feel? Yeah.
But
there's a Trump in all of us.
That has been the truth with this whole, especially on social media. You see the extreme, like the people who are actually commenting and fighting online. Like those are the people who are very judgmental, they make assumptions, very extreme. And sometimes I'll point out, you're doing exactly what you don't like.
If you say they will fucking explode.
They will. Like, all I want is the awareness. Like, great that you stand for this, but do you know that you're just as bad as them right now? And they won't. They
can't accept it. Like to me, like the extremes are the same people.
Yes. Absolutely.
But they don't want to admit it. It's like always them is the problem. Like you're the problem. You too. Like we're yeah. So, and then also I used to be so worried about other people's opinions of me.
Oh yes.
Because I always hold opinions towards other people.
Yes.
That's why you're worried. Yes. So whatever you put out, whatever the judgment and criticism you have of other people, it comes back to you, whatever you put out in the universe. It's a stoner talk again.
No, but no, absolutely. I think that's why our parents' generation in general can be really paranoid about what everyone else thinks. Like whether the auntie's gonna think.
Exactly.
Like, why do you fucking care? But because they do talk shit.
Yeah.
All of them, they do gossip and compare their kids and do all that shit. I hate it.
Exactly.
In which, like, culture.
Because the way like we grew up, we like to judge a person by their education, where they went to school, did they do well, and have a stable job, what kind of car or house or all that. It's our culture to like judge a person's ability by all materialistic things and achievements. And naturally, when we grow up, like we kind of judge people in that categories too. And you don't even know it. Like everybody's a little hypocritical. You just gotta know, like, everybody is full of shit. Everybody is full of shit. Your shit is not better than some other people's shit. That really helps me to manage my judgment. And it's always going to be there. but I have to catch it before it goes to I have to check it. Check myself and manage that, because I know I'm at an age that I know whatever I do to the vibe I send out, it's gonna come back to me. So I best learn how to put out positive vibes.
Absolutely.
For me, for myself, for selfish reasons.
Oh, it feels way better when you learn to give other people grace. You learn to give yourself grace. How you're treating other people, like when, for example, like a hater message, if I get one, I feel sad because I know that's their internal talk too. If they're calling you names like idiot, I'm like, this is how they talk to themselves.
And
it's sad.
Yeah, when I first saw like this younger person leave a comment like, you should kill yourself, I felt immediately sad for him. Like, oh, damn, what kind of fucking, like life that he's going through, the pain he's going through, that he wished somebody to kill themselves. Like, I wish him well. Like, I don't, maybe like he's going through some shit, like he wants to kill himself. That's why he leave comments like that.
Where would that thought come from?
Yeah. So, and for people who are out there and are just feel really sad and then being really hard on themselves, maybe try to judge other people less, and then see if in return you will judge yourself less. And because you gotta give to receive.
Absolutely.
And that's what helped me unknowingly, because I've always been so hard on myself, and it's still, and when I fall into that loop, I notice my like a mental state isn't good. And I have to, even if I can't love myself, I tell myself, yo, you have to show your love to other people. If I lack the ability to see the good in myself, I try to do that to other people. And then in return, I feel good. And I was like, okay, that's a tool to make me feel better and make me love myself. Is even if I don't have the love for myself, I love other people, and then that makes me feel good. And that was unknowingly, it has a good return. So I'm holding on to this tool when I'm being so hard on myself. I think about, oh dang, all the good people around me, and then the love I give them, and then I feel better. They're like, yeah, I'm a good friend. I'm a ride or die bitch. I'm loyal. Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how like I managed to get out of that really bad self-criticism or judgment of myself.
Absolutely. I think staying curious about someone too, because we all assume, like one of my biggest judgments is on people who are overly spiritual and woo-woo. It's really triggering for me. I think maybe because I need some of it, maybe. Just wait until if I go on my spiritual journey, I'm probably going to become what I make fun of, right?
Holler, I want to go with you.
No, it's when it's genuine, when I feel it's genuine, I'm fine with it. But I think like in LA, for example, like Topanga Canyon, I don't know if you're familiar. There's this, it's like the boho chic aesthetic, and it's usually white women, maybe sprinkle in a couple Asians. Yeah, sprinkle in a couple Asians, like a Latin one. And then they'll, it's kind of like hippie style, but they got money. They got money. And they'll do like, these tea ceremonies and
ayahuasca, some shit.
Yeah, it's very...
I'm down with that.
Yeah. But there's something about... And the way that some of them talk is very slow. And the eye gaze is really long. I get being present. Let's be present.
Okay.
But it's like a forced, like, I am here. And it's kind of like when you go into Burke Williams' spa and they all talk like hello, welcome.
Make you feel like, are you gonna fucking kill me and sell my kidney and shit? This is too culty for me.
I'm like, why are you talking like that? And with Burke Williams, it's like corporate. They're actually asked to talk like that. But sometimes you could just tell, like, oh, this bitch hates working here. Like, she doesn't want to talk like that. I'm like, can you just talk normal? You could just be like, hey, the robe. go change over there. It's fine. So I'm very sensitive to when something is not authentic. And so in that world, I just feel like there's some of it where it's like spiritual bypassing. Have you heard of that as well? Like they use spirituality to be like, I'm this like, great person. And
Now I'm
very
looking forward to this
elevated.
experience.
Yeah.
Good comedy bit. A real good comedy bit.
I'll take you. Because in the personal growth world, there's a lot of that. And so you find your people, right? But I find myself being very judgy about it. But when you meet most of them, they are very nice and kind. I think I'm just sensitive to when it comes off disingenuine. But normally if you give people enough of a chance and you actually talk to them long term, you realize they're actually really cool. We all have our judgments of, like, another thing I'm judgy of is aesthetically, like the Kardashian style. Everyone has different styles and what they find attractive. I find it very, and there's a part of me that like is cringy for me. I'm not sure why that comes up. I think because I naturally, I like a more natural aesthetic, and I get everyone's different, but there's something about when I see, it looks unhealthy to me, and I feel for younger women that it could be a bad influence. And so I don't, that's the starting point. There's probably more to it that I can dive into, but.
That's a good point. The stuff that triggers us, the judgments, it says a lot about us more than the other people. Maybe it's time to like check in. Like, why?
What am I insecure about?
Most of the time I find is like that. It just says more about you than other people. Because if you don't like it, then whatever, it's not my thing. But if you feel some type of way about it, maybe there's deeper thing inside. Yeah. But with the culty shit, I feel you. Because I'm not gonna say the specific person, but a extended family member, or they're into the very spiritual, tree hugging, hippy dippy type of shit, and I judge a little bit about that, and because I feel like, okay, it's all about environment and some shit from your iPhone. You're tweeting this shit like you got some iMac and some all of these things, and then you're imposing this environmental thing to other people. I just feel like hypocritical.
Some of them got like private jets and stuff.
You're like, if you're
environment, hello.
yeah, like you're sitting on acres of land. Like, I don't know. You're not the one to talk to me about saving environment. And so I have to kind of withhold that, because I can see hypocrisy, because I know my own hypocrisy. I know my own bullshit. So it's when I see that, it's like, but I have to kind of hold within. And then so anyways, recently we went to a kind of like a ceremony for this family member. Like,
they love ceremonies.
Yeah. And I actively have to see the positive of it to calm myself and to like, it's time to open, like be acceptance and like keep an open heart about this. And on the way there, like definitely I was like, what kind of fucking bullshit is that ceremony? It's like fucking, this is crazy shit. Like some like crystals, this fucking bullshit, right? It's like the stones, and like they sell a ridiculous amount of stones and it sparkles. I'm like, oh Lord. But like to each own, if they think this is a blessing or something where this branch has been blessed in some mother nature or some shit, like okay, like you do you. As long as you don't impose that on me, I'm fine. And because of family, I have to attend that ceremony, so I see it as okay, this is my way to show love towards you, and I like, let's stop like judging this shit and I just experience it. And at very minimum, it's my comedy bit. I can write a bit about it. And so we went, and then one thing I want to call out positive of these, I guess, tree huggers is that was my first social interaction that nobody asked me what I do. And what's my title and what company I work for. None of that. It was just energy.
Yes, that's
You
what
feel?
that's where they go off of.
Yeah.
Energy.
Energy, they don't like. Yeah, it was my first social. There were a lot of a lot of white women. Yeah, like and I was the only minority. And like I felt, oh dang, they gonna cook me or some shit. It's like I feel like a little out of place. Like everybody's with you know, their tree hugging clothing.
Yeah. But it's like boho chic. That
Yeah.
shit's expensive, by the way.
Expensive. Yeah, it's not affordable. It's not affordable to be a hippie.
It's not
Yeah.
today. And actually, I brought my mom when she visited LA somewhere. Were we in Topanga or maybe Malibu?
Mm-hmm.
And she said she noticed the style, like with the hat, like the wide rim hat and kind of like ponchos. And she just said, "These are not real hippies. These people have money." You're
Yeah.
right. They do. They do have money.
Yeah. It's like they've made enough fucking. What's it called? Never mind.
Yeah, it's that world's very interesting. I have done some spiritual work, and I'll be honest, when I've done it, you do feel really good. I notice I'm actually less funny because I'm more healed and more like connected in that way. I think for me, I just need to find the right balance for me, because everything's on a continuum, right? And sometimes some of my friends are very woo. It's a little too much for me, but I'm happy to support them. For example, have you heard of a baby blessing?
Oh yeah, that was the thing I went to.
Okay, yeah, it's the new baby shower is a baby blessing or a parent blessing.
Yeah, they hired some like a shaman or
There's
something.
a drum.
From, like,
Was there a drum?
from like a South America or something?
Yeah. There's
was.
usually drum, crystal bowls. Was there that? They burned something.
Yeah, sage or something like north, south, east, west
Yes!
god, or like let's summon like spirits or some shit. Yeah, it's a scary movie shit. Like I try to hold with it, like not laughing. But I want to show my respect. At least I'm here.
Of course, I'm
But
like
the
okay.
whole time I'm like, the fuck is this?
That's what I think. I'm happy to support. I have a friend in Austin who, she rolls in that kind of circle, like kind of half business, but she's into that as well. So for her second baby, it was a baby blessing. And so we were sitting in a circle, and it's her thing. Of course, I'll do whatever you want. But
It's
did
called
feel.
like earthing or earthy or earth something.
There
That's a
was-
specific name for
There
that
is.
thing.
It was probably the same ceremony. So it was the north, south, east, west. Was there a jar of water?
Oh yeah.
Did
there
you
was
write an intention on the jar of water? Like a word?
No, we have to say it. Like everybody, like
Okay.
go clockwise and then say your things or blessing or something.
Ours was, I think we wrote it with a Sharpie on this giant jar of water. And the whole point of that is when the mother goes into labor, I think she's supposed to take a bath and put that intentional water in the bath. And all I could think was, fuck, dude, when you go into labor, the last thing, is she really going to be like, where's that jar of water? I need to take a bath. She's probably like, fuck, I'm in pain.
Yeah,
Let's
fuck
get to
this shit.
this. And so all these little ritual things.
Give me all the epidurals because they don't believe in medicine, vaccines,
They don't. They
none
try,
of that.
like the water birth, right?
Yeah.
It's like the guy straddling you from the back, and you might take some photos in like sepia tone. That's the brown and white if you're not like that kind of vibe. But a lot of them, when there's complications, they end up having to go to the hospital and then doing the thing, Props to them for trying to do the natural birth because, the thought of that freaks me out. The pain.
Yeah.
Of a natural birth?
No. Yeah, please drug me. Just put me under or somehow.
I know. I would be very happy with the epidural. I think I'm like,
Yeah.
I do not want to feel my vagina ripping open.
Ooh, have you seen? I have one
Yes.
of my besties. The whole thing, and then also like after that, I don't want to. Can we all go like gruesome with this? Yeah, so people don't know it fucks up your vagina. I mean, it heals.
It does heals. But imagine it's like a watermelon going through like a lemon, the size of a lemon.
The inside, the lining, like with the thing, it falls like it turns inside out.
It can.
And and the doctor has to do like the stitches.
Ooh, and sometimes if it if there's too much pressure, they have to cut it open.
Ow.
I remember learning that in school in sex ed, and I was like, oh my fucking God. That sounds horrible to me. So anyone, all you moms out there, like big props to you, because that freaks me out.
Yeah, but seeing it live is like, God damn.
I've only seen the video, and that's already, I'm like, oh my God.
A lot of comedians made that bit. Is like watching your favorite restaurant burn down. So it's literally it. I'm like, girl, like but you know, that's your friend. You don't want to be like, ew, the fuck is this? So the whole time, like, you got this. You got this.
Yes, I said something to one of my friends once
and then
after she gave birth, and I realized, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm like, how's your vagina?
Yeah.
You know? Well, because I can talk like that with certain people. Like my sister will be like, I'm like, how are you feeling right after birth? She's like, good, but my vagina feels busted. You know, I could talk to her like that, but I realize I can't talk to everyone. Like that.
Yeah, exactly. They feel like, I've heard it's like you get run over by a bus, and just like all your hips, the bones, and everything down there is just like crashed or something. Yeah. And they couldn't walk. You know,
Yes.
and then also like after birth, your vagina leaks some shit, and like
a lot comes
like
out.
a brown thing,
what
or
is that?
goo or some shit.
Is it the placenta?
Yeah,
After the thing
they
that
take
comes
the
out,
placenta,
that
and
sac.
after that, still like your
you keep shedding.
yeah, you'll keep shit comes out.
It must feel so satisfying to get like all that stuff out.
Yeah, and I don't know about satisfying.
I mean, I just imagine like just get all this stuff out of me.
And then and then she had to use like some like a liquid solution to clean it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just for keep it clean. And she asked me. She bent over, butt ass naked, and can you take a picture of my pussy? I want to see like what the stitches look like. I was like, are you sure about that? And she's like, yeah, I want to know like if he did a good stitch job. So I was like, oh my God, you sure? You sure? Because I don't like it. And she's like, yeah, I want to know. And so like she bent over, butt ass naked, and I like zoomed in. I was like, yeah, this is your vagina now, girl. It literally like the lining like it went inside out.
Yeah.
Dang, like that scarred me.
It seems
but it
like
heals. It does. It heals really fast, and then it goes back to normal. But when you have like maybe multiple kids, I hear my girlfriend say that she can't hold pee anymore. If she sneeze or cough, that's it. And it's to a point like she has to bring backup underwear because it soaks her underwear. And older women, like 4 kids, they have to wear adult diapers.
Not the pelvic floor.
Yeah, they just loose. Wow. Yeah, like they can't hold pee anymore.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
Oh my gosh.
How do we go from judging like the whole judgment face on
Well, no, I feel a lot of things talking about this. Yeah, I've watched quite a few videos on it. The placenta, that gets me. That's a big sack. And people eat it.
People eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think stem cell technology, people like if you have money, it's advised to keep the thing, like what you call that again?
Umbilical cord.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It helps with like regenerate cells or something.
Oh, okay.
And there's the newest technology out there, stem cell. Like a lot of athletes do that. And then for youth, it's like a reverse aging type of thing. I don't think it's legal here, but it's legal in Mexico. A lot of people, Hollywood people go down there to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
cool.
No, they don't.
Well, I mean, it's just, I have more more things regarding like the whole spiritual world comes
Oh,
to mind.
yeah.
Where, I mean, I can see, for example, there's some women who, in this spiritual realm, hippie realm, and they're very comfortable with their bodies, and the videos they post on Instagram and stuff are like they're butt ass naked and they're dancing and like embrace your feminine Kali goddess. I don't know what they're talking about, but they're like looking at the camera and like dancing
sexual.
with like fire and stuff, and it's a really long video. And my initial reaction is, we get it, like I get it, but the thing in me is, I think I wish I could be self-expressed and not give a fuck like that as well.
Do you like your naked body?
I do, but I think I have, I'm working on caring what people think. I've given up a lot of that. My mom made us really paranoid growing up, and she even acknowledges it, because she's like, your grandpa was like that with me, like, oh, what are they gonna think? And I've really had to break that down, but there is still a part of me that has trouble with full self-expression, or what are they going to think of me? And I know that starting this route of doing podcasts, and because with photography, I'm always behind the camera, right? It's easier, like, this is my work. Here you go. But this is my face and my voice. Like, I'm going to get criticized. Not everyone's going to like what I say or agree with me. I have to be ready for this, or train myself like to get used to this. And I know that that's what comes with it. You're very familiar with it because you're a comedian. Your videos on TikTok can be very polarizing, and you let it fuel you for more content. For me, naturally, I grew up like a very sensitive person, and I know some of the comments are so ridiculous that you can't even take it personal. Like, oh my God, it's so dumb. But some of it,
once in a while, that one comment just fucking gives you. Yeah.
So that's work that I've had to do. Yeah, and with the self-expression, it's definitely like when I'm judging a woman like that, doing the, spiritual. There is a part of me that I guess wish can be more self-expressed. Maybe not in the same exact way as her, but
at least very comfortable with.
Yes, absolutely. And that's actually when I know I'm in a good place, is when the more self-expressed I can be, I know I'm in a good place. So that's like one example of like, okay, it's not her, like, you do you, but it's really me. So pay attention to when things come up for you. Like, what is it in that person that you feel all this judgment?
Right.
Okay, we get it. I feel that a lot when I see things. Another one is like, have you seen like something with like women in their womb? They'll like paint with their period blood. Have you seen that one?
Oh, yeah, that deserves judgment. The fuck? Leave your periods where they be, not on your face.
It'll literally be, they'll paint on their face, period blood, and they'll be like standing in a river, and it's their profile photo on Facebook.
Nah, that's witchcraft. That bullshit. I don't know. I stand my judgment on that one. Nah. I draw the line where period blood and shit and piss is.
I mean, I get healing all that, but I'm like, I don't know. It just seems like, I'm like, is that necessary? Profile photo?
Yeah.
Blood.
Nah.
Blood on the forehead.
That's too far.
Do I wish I could do that?
This is where we say, let's all judge them. Let's shame them, please. It's not good. Put your fucking period blood on your face. Dang. Yeah, like the Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly, they exchanged blood or some type of shit, like wear blood thing. I'm like, yo, this is too much. like you wonder why people go into the conspiracy theory with like fucking selling your souls and shit. Like your behaviors make people think that way,
Yeah, though I find people like celebrities and influencers who do extreme things, I usually question, like, do they know this is gonna create an uproar? Like, that you just want to stay. If you want to stay in the spotlight, I think the Kardashians understand this, that your content has to be interesting, and they have no shame. So I mean, I kind of wish that I could have less shame, because some of the stuff they wear is kind of weird to me, but they understand this will create people to have conversations about us. This is how we stay relevant and we can make money. I don't, growing up Asian, I have too much shame to just do that.
Yeah, they're brilliant business women. They can monetize attention, capture attention. It's not easy these days.
Yeah.
And they like re-innovate themselves. Like once in a while they'll have a different thing and then keep them in the spotlight. I don't know how long they can, go on about that, but
I'm curious. Yeah, how long?
billionaires.
They are. And as long as, you know what, as long as you're happy, because I've seen people, I get financial safety, financial comfort, but at what cost? Is it worth it? Because I know a lot of people who they've made a lot of money. I'm like, but at what cost? Are you happy? Are you thriving? Do you know how to enjoy your life? And the trade-off for someone like the Kardashians is you don't have that much freedom because they're pretty famous. You can't just go out and just be you all the time.
Well, yeah, maybe it's maybe the priorities are different.
Yes.
Their priorities like fame, maybe money or some shit. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, if they're okay with lack of privacy or will never have real good solid marriage, then the trade-off is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got your money.
Exactly. And what was we talking about?
We got totally sidetracked from judgment, talking about period blood.
Yeah.
Do you have any closing thoughts about, what people should do or what they can do to maybe feel happier?
Good thing is like a check in with yourself when you feel triggered by some other people, their words. Just check in. Maybe some you need to improve on. Like you shouldn't be triggered by words.
Correct.
Yeah, like Chris Rock. I went to his Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle thing, and then he talked about the famous slap. And he touched on that, and then he said, anyone who says words hurt definitely never got slapped in the face. So yeah, I'm like, don't get triggered, I guess. And
if you
can
are,
only
maybe do some introspection. Everyone, stuff will come up, like, what is it about me? Instead of, again, like the pointing fingers.
Exactly, because blaming or pointing fingers or say other people's problems, or ew, why is she like that? Why is he like that? It don't help you. Like, just check in with yourself. Maybe there's some underlying thing that you feel insecure about, or you see the side of you don't want to see in them, or whatever it is. So check in with yourself and work on that, and then just know whatever you put out, the more harsh you are, judgmental you are, the sadder and lonelier you're going to feel.
Absolutely.
Down the road. And it's going to come back and bite you. So if you're a selfish cunt like me, even if you can't really vibe with everybody, just do it for a selfish reason, to love yourself more. You have to accept other people. That's what's it. It's like, and people, comedians to talk about like the whole Nazi shit with the Ye bringing this up is like, we all have, we all capable of doing Nazi shit. It's like, there were people back then, they didn't think, like they and people are saying, it's not just Hitler. It's everybody that just followed his order. Is that we are all capable of doing the darkest and the, just the evilest shit. And they just know everybody's full of shit. We're all capable of doing things. Don't think you're better. And if you just kind of, I don't know, like work on your moral policing and then just give people benefit of doubt, like you will feel better in return. You love yourself more and be more compassionate. Yeah. And you will surprisingly, like, just a little bit of effort you make, the universe. Now I'm talking about like they're making fun of hippies, and now I'm talking like stoner shit. So the happier energy you put out, it will come back to you, and just a little bit of effort you make in life, like the fucking universe, and then like the molecules and some shit, or like quantum mechanics and bullshit. I mean quantum physics shit. I don't know what the
5D.
Yeah, what the 5D.
They use a lot of
they use a lot
like,
of words, but
language.
like it's giving a lot of words to bullshit. But it's I mean it works. It's whatever you put out, the energy, whatever that is, it will come back, and then life will just like will help you, and you will just go with life, and then everything will fall in place. Like, have you met anyone who's like, you just feel like she's so lucky, like everything is just like, oh, this is a lucky person, just very like everything just kind of play in her life? It's because maybe she just has a grounded and gratitude, and always appreciative of the littlest things in life. And yeah, that's why, like, you just put a little bit of effort into life, and then all the good things will come in place. So that's my advice.